it's Lisa. How are you? Welcome to another episode of The Search with Lisa, Crime and Conclusion. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about a very serious ongoing case right now that is fresh. It is going to be talking about Taylor Casey. Okay, guys, buckle up. It's a lot. This one here, since going down this rabbit hole and so much, it really has just lit such a fire in me. And I hope by telling this that it does that to you as well, because this is an episode. If you've never shared one of my episodes, please share this one. We've got to get it out to as many people. There are so many red flags, awarenesses, different things that you can take from hopefully what I can get out today. I definitely feel that there's going to be ongoing things about this case. So, anyway, if that sounds like something you're interested in, please make sure to hit that subscribe and sit back and let's get into it. Today, we are talking about Taylor Casey. She is 41 years old from Chicago. She has been a youth program director up there, along with being a yoga practitioner for 15 years. Listening to her mom and all her friends and just diving really into the community she's a part of. She is a leader, a light, a person that really is about bringing people together, uplifting. Like, this is what she does. And so for her to want to go and get certified to be more upscale, trained yoga teacher, be so much more than what she already was doing, totally makes sense. So Casey decides that she's going to go down to Bahamas and she wants to go to a yoga retreat. Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat in the Bahamas. It is in Paradise Island, Nassau. You will find this retreat on the website. It has been known for people like Gwyneth Paltrow that has gone. It is pretty well known. This practice also with ashram has been known to be very almost global. If you'll look on the actual website, you will see many different people coming in to do different types of studies, specialties, things that they specialize in, many guests. Okay, so it is really well known. I think she arrives around the 3rd. Okay, so she'd been deciding she was going. And she gets down there, and there are different levels of like where you can stay. If you want to bunk with people, there's many options. Kind of like when you like book a cruise or whatever you're at. Okay, so she chose to stay like in a tent. And there's even varieties, like a certain part, like if you want to stay with 2 people in a tent, 1 person in a tent. She went solo, okay? And also there are like just different levels, like I said. And the prices, you judge for yourself, but they're not real cheap. So, as you guys know, it is warm at the Bahamas year round. This area is very, although it is not far from the Atlantis, people may be familiar more with that, the big, huge Atlantis, but it is kind of, because it is a yoga retreat, it is secluded. You go for a while. Pretty strict regimen. They really kind of recommend that you stay on retreat site, just due to, I will say, before she left, the crime level was up a level. So there had been some things kind of going on, and so I guess because it's such a touristy site, that they kind of let you know, but it wasn't like at the highest. So she's there. She is talking with her mom, who is Miss Collette Seymore. Also, she has her friend Emily Williams. She's making contact with them. Now, it is not really known for having Wi-Fi or anything. They really don't encourage the outside. This is a place to cleanse, and they even have like uniforms, yellows and white, I believe. Kind of strips you down to like where they, I guess, know who all is involved, okay? And it's a part of the like detoxing and cleansing and learning this way of life, or in yoga. She's there doing it, reporting back to mom, like really enjoying herself, seems to be really happy. They do like chants, singing. Someone that is not involved in yoga, I've really had to educate myself because I don't want to misrepresent, but I will tell you my focus is on Taylor, okay? So I want to make sure I just don't misrepresent her, all right? So I apologize if I'm not saying things exactly right. They do different things with music and, like I said, with chants and different things. And she actually was able to lead in one. She was diving in, like people knew of her. And I think that this is a good point that I want to make, that if she's helping, the other leader out, and she's on stage in front of the group that she's with, that she has been, she has mingled with and stayed next to and things like that. They definitely, recognize her and know of her. Okay. All right. Well, as of the 19th, that would be the last time anybody sees Taylor. Taylor on the 20th did not show up for class that morning. That is very odd because that doesn't happen. Like they're very strict on far as like your schedule. You're up early, you're eating, you are meeting, you're doing this. Like I said, you're doing your curriculum, what you paid for. Very strict, guys. Okay? So all day she was not there. By that night, still no Taylor, and of course the mother did not hear from her either. This is where I want to get into. There is a Facebook page. It is called Find Taylor Casey. So I want to explain you, this is where I got some great information. They are doing amazing. And please go over to Facebook and join it, share it, do everything. Share this video, anything you can find. So when nobody hears from her at that time, they then report, I guess, to the local authorities, but they contact the family. And they let the family know, hey, she is not here. We have not heard from her and nobody has seen her. Actually, there was a family member, I believe it's her niece, pinged her phone. I guess she kind of keeps up. Let me tell you, this family is an amazing family, how much they have pulled together. You can tell how tight prior they were. So she pings, like, okay, maybe I ping her, find her. Maybe she's just like, she been there a while. Maybe she's like, hey, I'm going off for the day. When she pings the phone, it shows up last place in the water, which can make sense because the only way to get where they were at is by boat. It could have been when she was coming in. When this happens, the mom is like, no, we are going down there, okay? She had talked to the authorities. They had, made her feel like, okay, we are going to search, like, okay, we've made a report. We know someone's missing. We're on the ball. In the meantime, she's like, I'm coming on down. Miss Collette Seymore, the mother, goes down there, and she also brings Miss Emily Williams down there, who is Taylor's really close friend. There's actually a large report out of Facebook. I'm going to show where everything is at and down in the description. I know you don't want me to sit here and read documents after documents after documents, but what I want to share with you is what was put in these documents to be released for everybody to see, and I encourage you to share. So let's start with what happens when they get down there. Miss Seymore says, let me make it clear to the U.S. media, the public, and our government officials, we are not satisfied with how the investigation has been handled thus far. And what we learned and observed during our time meeting with the authorities at ashram's leaders is disturbing. This states Emily Williams, a close friend of Taylor's who accompanied Miss Seymore. Now, mind you, this was released on July 1st. During their 3 days in the Bahamas, Miss Seymore and her team met with the U.S. Embassy. Leadership at the Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat, where Taylor was reported missing, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force. On June 27th, 2024, Miss Seymour's team went to retrieve Taylor's belongings at the ashram. The items included Taylor's Bible, her teacher training course book, a picture of Jesus Christ, Louise Hay's affirmation cards, her yoga mat, books titled We Do This Until We Free Us, and All Black Girls Are Activists, lavender essential oils, toiletries, a sketch pad with her paintings, yoga pants, flip-flops, and t-shirt. The scene appeared largely unprocessed by local authorities. Miss Seymore and her team described their visit to the ashram yoga retreat as deeply unsettling. It became apparent to us when we met with the ashram leaders that they were struggling to keep the linear and cohesive narrative regarding Taylor's disappearance, states Williams. Upon entering the retreat center, Miss Seymore and her team were advised by the police not to speak to any guests. The consistence emphasized on not disturbing the guest indicated that maintaining the tranquility and comfort of tourism experience was being prioritized over the addressing to a critical issue of Taylor's disappearance. Now, this is off the record. So basically, they go down there. They are not getting what they expected. They thought, okay, thank you, we're here, we're going to do our job, we are going to let's start, from ground up. Do you notice I mentioned about they go and get her belongings? This is a open tent, which could be a potential crime scene. It's just been left there. There's more twists, guys. There's more things also to be said. According to Mrs. Seymore, students, but then I feel like they were told what to say and not to say. We had begged to talk. When Williams asked whether the guest had been informed by Taylor's disappearance, she states, Colonel Saunders led the investigation, replied, most of the participants are aware of Taylor's disappearance, but not all. My impression is that the ashram yoga retreat is cultish, and students were being coerced to obey them. The Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat leaders, even in that moment, meant holding back information about my missing child, states Miss Seymore. Now, listen to this. No missing persons poster found on the ashram premises or surrounding areas. So when they get there, nothing. I know it's a tourist site, but what I'm hearing and what I'm telling to y'all is when they got down there, basically, it was pretty hush-hush that there was not a lot brought to attention. There was nothing to alarm any guests. There was a news person down there, which I will talk about, Ryan Eaton, down there trying to report. They were really tight-lipped, not wanting them to really interact or bother guests, because I didn't know missing people were bothering guests, a missing person. It really starts building up and you go, something is not right here. Listen, when she went missing, everything should have stopped. Right then, they should have said, okay, look, at least until they start getting the crime scene, like her room done, everything done, and they can at least claim she is not on that property. I mean, but definitely a halt for a certain amount of time. First of all, people that are in this type of lifestyle would have definitely understood. And I will tell you, it might be in here when I read also, but I do know for a fact that there were a couple that left when they found out that they were not informed about her being missing, that made them feel they were out of there. And good for them. Good for them. So after they failed, to see any of the missing posters of Taylor on the premises, the police station wall of missing persons also did not include Taylor. It's one thing to not want to alarm the guest, but where the missing wall is, like when you walk into a police station, the missing people, her picture's not on there. Why? We're going to get into the whys, okay? We're going to get into some things that I haven't revealed yet. Because Taylor is a person. It doesn't matter people's lifestyles, things that she is a person. That's all that matters. She is a human being, and she deserves justice and respect. News Nation reporter Brian Eaton also confirmed the lack of the posters. So it wasn't just like the mom, feeling like there wasn't enough. No, there was a news reporter down there on foot checking out this story to do a series on it, to do something. And so he also was like, no, this isn't right. While he was reporting in the Bahamas, I was expecting people to at least know there was a missing woman and that there would be some missing posters. And this is Brian, Eaton saying this. Eaton, who leads a missing person series currently investigating Taylor's case, also finding, as Miss Seymour's team observes, that many Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat participants were unaware of the fact that another member of their retreat community had been reported missing. So basically, he's verifying everything that Miss Seymour is saying, that he was down there and he had got all the same treatment, that he had went all the same routes and same answers. So this isn't just the over concerned mom not getting the job done. This is a reporter, a professional journalist down there realizing, whoa. Some retreat participants have additionally contacted Miss Seymour and her team, stating that the Ashram Yoga Retreat never informed them about ongoing investigation into the retreat due to the safety concerns and their own observations of how this case was being mishandled. These participants left. I feel uneasy about the investigation, said Miss Seymour. I'm not satisfied with it. I feel like police did the bare minimum, and I need them to act on it. My child is missing. So now, guys, where do we go? They're on a mission. Next part is the team calls the U.S. government for support. We need the help of the government. Miss Seymour and her team are pleading for the support of the government to please help them. While the National Security Minister Wayne Monroe told reporters that FBI was involved in the search, U.S. Embassy officials told Miss Seymour and her team otherwise. I was explained to us several times that only involvement in this from the U.S. Embassy in Nassau is observing parts of the investigation, Williams explained. She is not leading the investigation, and to our knowledge, it is not advising investigator. So there's nobody like a lead investigator. I guess they call it advising. I would guess it would mean like lead, I'm allegedly thinking. We were told that she has observer status. What this means is the police made a claim to the public that is not true. This makes me question everything they said. So she now feels that she basically has been brushed off. They were told that the police had the phone and would not give them the phone because now they're concerned of the evidence, not when they left the tent and everything open, but they did not give her the phone. I just can't even imagine when she had to leave. They were feeling a little worried and a little scared and uneasy being there, and there's nothing worse than feeling like they had to leave without her. She's back here advocating, okay? She also says, we were told that the description of Taylor was provided to the Atlanta security and that they were the ones to review the CCTV footage. Williams states, "We took this to mean that the detectives themselves did not review the footage." The police requested Ashram Yoga Retreat participate to submit statements regarding Taylor, but would not specify whether they were interrogated. The police also refused to inform the family team how many statements they had collected and their names and their participants. According to Ram Soskin, the lead manager of the Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat, Monday before Casey's disappearance, an unidentified man with a walkie-talkie was seen walking the same platform where Taylor's tent was located. One of the retreat's participants, who the team spoke to, also disclosed that she approached while sitting alone on the beach by a stranger the same day Taylor had last seen. The unidentified man was wearing a Celtics baseball cap and dressed in all black. He claimed that he was from Chicago. Ding, ding, ding. Which is where Taylor's from. And that he was interested in taking a day of yoga class. He proceeds to follow her onto the property. When Miss Seymore team observed the conditions and narrative control of the ashram, they became concerned for their own safety, like I said, and changed their flights to come home early. Upon return, Collette spoke to the different FBI officials on June 29th, but these calls have not led to any U.S. intervention in the case. We are calling all U.S. State Department to deploy the FBI to take over investigation immediately, and the Bohemian police to allow the FBI to carry out proper investigation. Williams says the FBI can find Taylor. The family seeing no significant leads and their loved ones missing for more than a week. Describes the return home of last week. I had to return home without her. This is every mother's worst nightmare, Miss Seymore says. I felt an urgent need to return because without U.S. government support, we may never find out what happened to Taylor, meaning they need to get back on U.S. soil. Now, I did not want this to be a 3-hour long video. I need for you to listen to me. This story is bigger than you know. So not only was she Taylor Casey, a black woman that went to this retreat, but she was a transgender woman. People say, well, why would they just target her? I know, looking at a lot of things just in their mission, I don't see a lot of people that look like Taylor either. I'm just allegedly speaking on that. There is a lot of things in this story. I just needed to focus on right now that she left to go on this retreat. She was there for a while, was getting to know people. It was a very strict practice. Definitely being transgender, I'm sure, was not known probably at first getting there. And this could have something to do with her going missing. What I want you to know is that in Chicago, when they got back, the family, the LGBTQ plus, are rallying. I want to let you know a press conference was planned in front of the Federal Plaza at South Dearborn in West Adams on Thursday, July 11th at 8:30 a.m. to bring further awareness to Taylor's disappearance in honor of her 42nd birthday. I want to tell you about it. Miss Seymore says, my child has been missing for almost 3 weeks. My family, friends, and I are distraught. I am pleading with everyone to call and demand the FBI lead the investigation. Taylor's disappearance has sent shockwaves through Chicago's LGBTQ community. Taylor's family and friends are pleading for the officials, LGBTQ leaders, and media to elevate her story and pressure elected officials to leverage the federal resources needed to investigate her disappearance. Too often, our black, trans, and gender expansive siblings go missing with no to little attention in the media or investigatives by authorities, says Taylor's close friend Jackie Boyd. We are extremely concerned for Taylor's safety and need support to keeping the pressure on the American Bahamian authorities. As violence against transgender people spiked globally, it is imperative that Chicago Mayor Johnson, Government Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Stratton, Senator Durbin, Senator Duckworth, and the FBI mobilized to find her. Transgender people of the color are partially vulnerable to the violence in the U.S. and abroad. This year alone, the Human Rights Campaign has reported that 73% of transgender homicide victims are people of color. Taylor has worked her whole life to interrupt these cycles of violence facing queer youth. Now we seek the same to do for her. I will encourage you guys to go over to facebook.com/find Taylor Casey. For information regarding Taylor's disappearance, please contact the Royal Bahamas Police Force Criminal Investigation Department. As always, I leave the tip lines and all the information. So guys, this is all peeking. There is a lot of information. I also did more digging on this yoga retreat. And I want to tell you, please do your own research on if you are even traveling there, thinking of going. Look at the cause behind it, the reasoning, the leaders, the people on the wall that they look at in their chants. Go a little deeper sometimes. Things are not always what they seem. There's someone missing and they did not want to interrupt their tranquility. That she was a paying customer at the end of the day, that they did not feel valuable to even go the extra mile for. Why? This is what they represent. And I'll leave you with this. The Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat is a spiritual center and retreat place that offers courses, workshops, and yoga vacation packages. Here are some of the amenities and features that we offer: yoga classes, meditation sessions, vegetarian meals, accommodation options. The retreat offers various accommodations options, including tents, garden and oceanfront cabins, and oceanfront suites. Well-being center, beautiful beachfront location, pristine grounds, variety of yoga programs, nutrition, vegetarian food. Overall, Ashram Yoga Retreat is a great option for those looking for a spiritual getaway that offers yoga, meditation, and a peaceful atmosphere. Well, we are going to turn it up. So please, I encourage you, if you have made it this far, and I hope that you have watched this full video, please share it. Tag it. I want you to sit everywhere you can. Please go to her Facebook group. Please join it. They have lots and lots of information. I will be following up. I needed to be educated more on this group. I did not want to get on here and misguide anybody or give false information. I wanted to be more educated. As I said, this is a focus on finding Taylor. But I will tell you that we need America's government help. We need to put the pressure on. Chicago, do your thing. Continue in the LGBTQ community to help her, and hopefully others get on this case. I think I've seen one other person do a really dive into it. I found my information a lot from the Facebook because I wanted to get it straight from the mom's mouth. So guys, I'm going to end it with a ribbon for Taylor Casey. She's 42 years old, and every case I do, I leave it with a ribbon, because a ribbon represents a prayer for justice. And we need justice for Taylor Casey, and let's bring her home. And I appreciate everyone staying and listening, and I will see you on the next episode of The Search. Good night.